Hi, it's me, Daphne. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my 2025 yearly TBR. Instead of doing 25 books in 2025, I figure I do 12, which I felt was a beautiful round number, one book per month, because 25 books is a lot for me to commit to upfront for the year when I'm going to be doing monthly TBRs as well. So these are the 12 books I want to prioritize in 2025. And I think it's perfect to put them on a yearly TBR versus just a monthly TBR because some of them may take me longer than a month to read. We're gonna start off with some random books that I want to prioritize. The first one I will definitely be able to read in 2025, and that is Dear God, Why Is It So Hard to Forgive? Right off the bat, I'm not a religious person. Don't click away if you're not religious either. I'm not either. But this is the second book in a very short novella series, and one of my really good friends wrote it. She's writing under the pen name Amani, so of course I want to shout out her books. I read her first one, I really enjoyed it. It does talk about the main character's relationship with God, but it's not like super heavy-handed or anything. It's mostly just this single mother's journey trying to live paycheck to paycheck while also giving her child the best life that she can, and her struggles in life and all that, living in New York City, yada, yada, yada. I think it's well written, and I do want to continue the series and shout out my really good friend. So check out her books if you think that sounds interesting to you. The next book is massive, massive, and it is Blood Mercy. This is the first book in the Blood Grace series. Sam, my beautiful bookish bestie here online, I'll link her channel down below, gifted this to me 2 Christmases ago. So not this past 24 Christmas, 23 Christmas. We were supposed to buddy read it together. For some reason, it fell through the cracks, and I want to prioritize it because she gifted it to me and I own it and I want to read it. All I know about this is it's kind of vampire-ish, I think. So this is like a slow burn fantasy romance. There is a looming war on the horizon. There's some political maneuvering that they're trying to work out between the humans, which our main character Cassia, the female lead, is a part of. She's like a princess, and this vampire-like diplomat, Leo, who I believe is the love interest. And it would be even more fun if I can convince Sam to read it at the same time as me. And since we're already talking about Sam, I'm pretty sure she gifted this to me. Yeah, she did. I have the Travel Cat Chronicles. Again, another, I think a Christmas gift from Sam 2 Christmases ago. Oh, and I really think I'm gonna love this book. I just distinctly remember seeing Meg with Books read this, and she was sobbing hysterically. I'm ready to be emotionally moved by this and just to have a generally successful time reading it. All I know about this book is that it's translated from Japanese, I believe. Yep. I think it's like an older man trying to rehome his cat. I assume because maybe he's dying and maybe that's why it's sad. And you get like the cat's POV, I believe, but that's all I really know. And that could be totally off. I don't know. Sounds like the old man and the cat are going on some kind of road trip. They will learn the true meaning of courage and gratitude, of loyalty and love. So definitely want to get this read in 2025. And then I have another book that's definitely going to take me a few months to read. I'm not going to like binge it. I would rather take my time with it. And it's a nonfiction. It's called An African History of Africa from the Dawn of Humanity to Independence. I picked this up when I was in Paris at the Shakespeare bookstore. That bookstore is super, super cool. You're not allowed to like take pictures or film in it, so I don't have it in my vlog, which isn't even out yet. I still need to edit my European trip vlog, but it's a beautiful bookstore. If you ever get to go to Paris, definitely check out the Shakespeare and Company bookstore. Such a vibe. So yeah, I did start this and I'm really enjoying it. It's very fascinating. Like they're talking about prehistoric humans and all that at this point because I'm still really early and I'm only like 20 pages in. And I have this really cute bookmark which my friend Shireen got me when she went to a country in Africa, which I thought was really fitting. So want to read this in nonfiction and absorb all the knowledge in 2025. I gotta get better at reading nonfiction. I just struggle. I mean, I'll listen to autobiographies here and there, but like true nonfiction, I'm not the best at finishing. So that's the goal with this book. Next, we'll move on to books that are by authors I really want to prioritize in 2025, at least reading one of their books. I own at least one of their books, but if I read another book that they have on my Kindle or something, I'll still count it as a win. But I'll flash up some of the physical books I own by these authors. The first author is Frederick Bachman. The book that I own is My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry. I also own Beartown, but I just picked this one up because I saw it first on my shelves. But yeah, if I read anything by Frederick Bachman this year, I will be very happy. I didn't read any of his books in 2024, but he's like one of my all-time favorite authors. I absolutely am obsessed with Anxious People. That was my first book that I read by him. And then I really enjoyed A Man Called Ove as well. So I want to continue his backlist and just like enjoy all the feels. And I don't know, I just think his writing style is so unique. It's heartfelt, it's funny, it's emotional, it's moving. I just love it. So I need to stop putting it off because they're like, I just want to savor them. But instead of like reading them, I'm just letting them sit because I don't want them to be over necessarily. I'm sure you know what I mean. Like, it doesn't make sense, but I'm sure as a reader you know what I mean. So I want to read Frederick Bachman for sure. And then I'd also love to read more of Kennedy Ryan in 2025. I have this one, This Could Be Us. This is the second book in the Skyland series, the first one being Before I Let Go, which I really enjoyed as well. And it's very emotional. And I think Kennedy Ryan, again, is an excellent writer and author and very emotional and very romantic, but also devastating. So I love her works. I think they're excellent, super fun, steamy, emotional, moving, all the positive words. But again, I get scared because I'm like, do I want to be like destroyed? I actually read the author's note of this one and it already had me emotional, talking about raising an autistic child. And I definitely can't say this the best per se because I don't have any firsthand experience, but like having that experience and empathy and understanding around autism. So yeah, very intrigued already. Know it's going to be beautiful and emotional. And then even like the first two sentences in the prologue were from the man's perspective, and he's like, I'm sure I loved her once and she loved me. I'm sure I loved her once? I'm already like, nope. I was like at the train station just waiting for the subway, and I read that and I was like, I can't right now. I can't. You're gonna devastate me. I can't. Like that line? So I need to read this book in particular, but if I read anything by Kennedy Ryan, another win for the year. And then the last author I want to read at least something from is Penelope Douglas. I own their book Credence. This is a like taboo romance. I want to prioritize this one in particular because I physically own it. But again, if I read any of their other books, I'll be happy. I think it's called Corrupt, downloaded on my Kindle right now. So I've got some options. I've enjoyed some of their other books in the past. I liked Birthday Girl and Punk 57, but I hated Bully. I really disliked Bully. Hopefully we can get back on better terms with another book by Penelope Douglas. This one in particular is about a young woman whose parents like tragically die suddenly, and she moves in with her father's stepbrother and his sons. So it's her uncle, but they're not blood related, and she has relations with each one of the men, I believe, but it's not like a why choose. I've heard she picks one man in the end. No idea who it's gonna be. Hopefully it's the guy that I like the most, and hopefully this book is more successful and not creepy, like Bully was. I did not like that. Penelope Douglas on the TBR for 2025. The next two books I wanna talk about are books that intimidate me, that are on the older side, maybe like kind of like modern classic vibes. One I'm not so sure about, but in certain circles it might be like, actually, I don't know. I could just be making that up. I'm trying to group these books together. But anyway, the next book I'll talk to you about is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I am scared of this. I'm scared, but I know it's really, really beloved and people are obsessed with this book and they say it's so amazing and so good. I think it'll be an interesting character study on these like Ivy League students or whatever, because I know there's a murder and I think there's like culty vibes, and I'm very curious to see what goes down in this book. I think it will take me longer than a month to read it. It's pretty long. It's over 500 pages, and I think it's gonna be pretty dense because these kids are really smart in the book, so I assume it's gonna be written at like a certain intellectual level, and I might have to take it pretty slow. So very excited. Yeah, this says truly deserving of the accolade modern classic. If anybody else plans on reading The Secret History in 2025, let me know and maybe we can do this together. The next one in this category, I don't really know if it's a modern classic, but it gives like classic vibes based on how it looks. And that is The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. I got this tome of a book from my mom's collection. I snagged it from her. She read it years and years and years ago, and she said it is absolutely fantastic. There is a large cast of characters. There's like a painter who's working on some kind of cathedral. We've got beautiful ladies with haunting secret shames, and it takes place across the sprawling medieval canvas of the 12th century England. It's a historical masterpiece, apparently. I'm very intrigued, and I think this is a part of a series. Don't know too much about it beyond the vibe of old-timey England, but I think there's gonna be like a sugar ton of drama in this, and it's just so different from anything I've ever read before, so I'm excited to try it, but also very intimidated, but also I'm like, I'm gonna put on this yearly TBR so I can take all year to read it, because this book is huge. Oh my God, it's nearly 1,000 pages. Just put me over the edge, dude. Just get to 1,000 at that point. So, cheers to The Pillars of the Earth. I really hope I read this. I really do. Because I just think it's just such an accomplishment to read it and finish it and hopefully love it. All right, I have the last 3 books here, and this category I'm calling, I should have read these already. I'm scared though, because I really want to love them and they give 5-star vibes category, okay? And the first one I'll talk about, I have less shame about because I only purchased it physically fairly recently, I think. Maybe for my birthday in October. And that is Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. I've only owned it for a little while, but it's been on my radar in my mind for a TBR thing that I've been thinking of purchasing for like months and months and months. This is a like futuristic kind of novel, but I think it was written maybe in the 90s. Whoa, shoot, I really should have read this last year, like in 2024. Okay, yeah, this was originally written in 93, and it takes place in the future in 2024. 2024! So I definitely should have read this in 2024. I messed up, but we're here to correct our mistakes and make up for it in 2025. I think the main character looks like she's only 15 years old, Lauren, and I think she has like some kind of power. She suffers from hyper empathy. She's very sensitive to others' emotions, like to a debilitating point. And I think there's like kind of a religious culty vibe going on, and the world is ending. It's like climate change is out of control, I believe. Yeah, it says a gripping tale of survival. A powerful story of hope and faith. Yeah, very intrigued to dive into this. I feel like I've only seen really good things, but I also don't know that much about it. I feel like this is gonna be challenging and emotional and really on the nose on what's going on in the 2020s, even though this was written in the 90s, because we really haven't addressed the global warming issue. It's been like the warmest winter I've ever experienced in my life. So, yikes. Adding to the TBR. This next one I've tried to read, and then I got kind of sad and I said, not right now. And that is Pachinko. Looks like there's a bookmark on page 34, chapter 5. Sometimes I just don't want to be sad, but I know these books are so beautiful. This is another fairly chunky one. I really, really want to read it, and I think another reason I've been putting it off is because I really want to give it 5 stars and absolutely love it, so I'm just like trying to be in the perfect mood for it. but my mood tends to just be like nonsense books. So I want to have like this maturity growth in 2025 where I just read the books that I think I'm actually gonna love, that are well received and have accolades and things like that. And challenge myself versus just reading books that I give 3 stars, you know what I mean? And I know I'm gonna give them 3 stars off the bat. So I have Pachinko. All I know about this is I think she's Korean, our main character, and there's a lot of turmoil with Japan, and then I think I know she gets pregnant, and then she marries this other man who's not the baby daddy for security, and I think she then moves to Japan, and I guess they open some kind of establishment that has pachinko machines, which I think are like gambling machines, and it relates to the criminal underworld. It says, Lee's complex and passionate characters, strong, stubborn women, devoted sisters and sons, fathers shaken by moral crises, survive and thrive against the indifferent arc of history. Yeah, so another good reason to read this, I want to know about the history of Korea and Japan in this time period, which is the early 1900s. So historical fiction, Pachinko, need to read it. Let's stop being scared in 2025 to read books I think I'm gonna love. And then the last book for the 12 books in 2025 is a book I've put on so many TBRs and have not read because I desperately want to give it 5 stars. And that is The Devil and the Dark Water. Okay, we all know, I should have read this like 3 years ago at this point when it was brand new, when I bought it. This is the same author that wrote 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, one of my all-time favorite books. It is fantasy. There is like a detective or something on a ship, and he's been arrested and he's being like transported somewhere, but there's some kind of mysterious happenings going on this ship. People are dying or something, and they're asking this detective to help them. It just says here on the back, this book is mind-bending, genre-bending, intricate, vivid, intelligent, and with one of the most gloriously grisly cast of characters. So I hope I love it, but I feel like I just need to take the pressure off and just read it, and if I don't give it 5 stars, that's okay. I'm trying to tell myself that's okay. Trying to make up for past mistakes in 2025 and read my TBR and my most anticipated books and the books I hope to love that I'm scared to read because I don't want to be disappointed if I don't end up loving it. So, cheers to Stuart and The Devil in the Dark Water. Please, 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 please read in 2025, Daphne. Read this. All right, so those are the 12 books I plan on reading in 2025. They are gonna get read. They are gonna get read. This is my priority, okay? My priority. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to leave it a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate it, and obviously it helps out my channel. And I will catch you in another video. Bye.